What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Throwdown. This is Throwdown number 27. All right, athletes, come on over. Let's get started. All right. How's everybody doing today?
Doing great.
LP, you're looking good, man.
Oh, thanks, coach.
Oh, thanks, coach. Yeah, you doing something different with, yeah, you changed your nutrition at all?
Yeah, I've been doing
Keto. Oh, see me after class. Okay, so the workout is for time, 21, 15, 9, handstand push-ups and power cleans at 115 for the males, 75 pounds for the females. Handstand push-up can be kipping or strict. The power clean can be...
hey, is the power clean, is that the uppy-downy one down here or the uppy-downy one up here?
That's the one down here.
All right.
After the 3-minute break, all athletes will start on their own timer, so not all at the same time. Whenever you finish 3 minutes after this couplet, after the 3-minute rest, we'll start the second couplet of 9, 15, 21, chest to bars and front squats. When you finish your 21st front squat...
Can we switch it up? I was thinking I would want to do the front squats first and then the chest to bar, just to sort of get that stimulus, you know?
Sure, let's do that for LP.
Yeah, you know, I think that just has a little bit better of a flow to the workout, right?
So now it's 9, 15, 21 of front squats and chest to bar. When you're finished your 21st chest to bar, time will stop, and that will be your score for the throwdown.
All right, gang, let's do this thing. Let's crush it. Go Think Tank.
Training Think Tank Throwdown number 27!
Hey, it's a new year, and it's a new me, and it's new Max and a new Mia. Welcome to Throwdown. My name's Brandon Dorman.
He already said I'm Max.
My name's Mia.
If you're new to the Throwdown, this is where we announce a workout and invite all of you to do it with our Training Think Tank community.
This week we have Lucas Parker, the legend, on site, demoing the workout.
Stay tuned. After the demo, we'll give you some scores, we'll give you some strategy, and I forgot what else we give you, but we're gonna give it to you good.
A lot of free stuff.
Oh
Yes, we will.
Beautiful entrance into the first handstand.
That was so good.
Yeah. So we got the new, or the handstand push-up standard from 2018, which was repeated in 2020 Open, which is a pain in the ass for everybody.
no. So you might as well practice it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth practicing. As you can see, Lucas is like super close to the line, even though that he's in a pretty good position up top.
Yeah, he's very close on, it's his right leg or the left side of the screen. I think I no-repped him 3 or 4 times. You'd have to go back and count. I don't remember. We were in prep for Shanghai, so this was filmed a little bit retroactively, and my memory is awful.
So he opened with 21 or 24 unbroken. What do you think about that strategy?
Yeah, I mean, I think for somebody like him, I think this is like 2 sprint-style workouts, and I think the power output of handstand push-ups and power cleans is low enough that you can recover in 3 minutes. If it was like heavy squat cleans, maybe breaking it up more, but I think his strategy going in was to break these power cleans up into 2 sets in 21 and 15 and then do the handstand push-ups unbroken. We'll see how that plays out, but I think overall that's a pretty good strategy because these are pretty low power output movements.
Yeah.
And I feel like if Brandon was doing this, would you try to go unbroken
For
on
sure.
both of them?
I would break the 21 power cleans, but then try to go unbroken on the other 2 sets, and then definitely on the handstand push-ups. Lucas is so efficient at them. Why would you not? Right? Like you just are losing time if you kick off. There's really no point.
And what we saw on site was that this is actually a pretty tight time cap.
Yeah.
So if you want to finish, you do need to push the gymnastics sets pretty aggressively.
For sure.
Yeah, this is also a demo of me judging. If people didn't know. Which is actually really difficult. You see the line, and I'm like, that was a no rep. I was like, oh, I forgot. I got to count where I was.
It is hard when you're giving people no reps where you.
Yeah.
Okay, am I at 8, 9?
Yeah. All right, so here's 15. I feel like, too, Lucas is always super, super technical, super smooth, doesn't really let himself get out of position, where this might be one workout where having a little bit of like a pull under, early pull on the power cleans would be beneficial. His entrance into the handstand, just like being that tight and regimented, I might cost him like a second or 2 on every rep. mean, probably saves him from longevity, but
Yeah, I love his power clean. I actually liked it. It's a very smooth effort. We're going to demo a pull under. It's kind of like the technique that I use in this video, so you guys will see that. But that's really smooth. He's barely brushing the hip, and then obviously it's a low effort movement, which is really important instead of someone like yanking it off the ground and trying to be super fast.
you might see like if this were being done by the small number of people that could beat him on this specifically, they might just do it faster per rep by breaking down their mechanics, where he's got kind of like a little bit of pause getting back to the hip instead of going straight down to the floor. Like those tiny things probably add up. So this is the finish of part 1 of the workout. So he broke up handstand push-ups in basically the 15s and power cleans in the 21s and 15s, and then goes 9 unbroken to finish.
Yeah, really good execution there.
Yep, and now you get to watch him rest for 3 minutes.
So what would you do on or what would you recommend to your athletes, Max, on when we've seen this in the open now with a 3-minute break, or if it's a 2-minute, whatever it may be. You do one workout, you get a break, you do another workout. What are you doing in that resting time?
I mean, I think it's just athlete dependent. I think whatever posture is necessary to get yourself as fully recovered for whatever the next stimulus is. Because this one, front squat and chest to bar, I think that's a higher power output, like more breathy in the second one. So you're probably thinking like, all right, I need to get my heart rate back down. But if it was like a handstand walk and double unders and it was a skill workout, you might actually want to like kick up onto your hands and do like a couple single unders and get the skill refined. So I think it's very movement specific. For him, I think he's just resting. That bent over posture is something that just a lot of people take. I don't know if it just takes pressure off the heart or easier to breathe because your diaphragm's not stabilizing or whatever.
I think that's a big thing, right? You're able to actually get deep breaths into your diaphragm that way without feeling like you're having to have a lot of core tension.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he kicks up to do any chest to bars, but I might tell somebody if they were doing this, even just kick up and like grab the bar and do some kip swings or something like that, just to kind of like get your brain ready for it. But I think at his level, people are just really resting and trying to get recovered.
So he's going at 6 minutes?
Yeah, I think he was like 3:06, and so we're going to go at 6:06. I don't remember exactly, but it's somewhere around there.
Did you have anyone on site beat the first piece?
What do you mean?
Allie was faster.
Yeah, Allie
did,
I think,
right?
2:59 on the first part. Her handstand push-ups, her arms are
range of motion.
range of motion is just smaller. So she's just really good at handstand push-ups. She flew through that, and then I think the barbell weight, to be completely honest, probably should have been a little bit heavier for the ladies because she just flew through the power cleans too. It made it look almost too easy, but she got bottlenecked by the chest bars, which is actually one of the things I was going to mention before he starts. For those that are doing this workout, grip. There is a grip limitation from all the power cleans and then into the chest bars, even with the break. One of the things that I got feedback on was, man, my grip on the set of 15 and 21 chest to bars started to go.
Yeah. I think also people underestimate being in the front rack, being in that much wrist extension and being under load. It does actually just make your grip get blown up, even though you're not gripping and holding on to anything. You're just like holding it at end range.
It's almost like doing a handstand walk into some kind of pulling movement because of the flexion position that you have or the extension position.
We did have some people do the crossover, which we didn't say was not allowed.
Yeah, so I might recommend doing that, or even like zombie squats or something like that. If you could just get the bar resting without holding onto it, you might save your grip a tiny bit.
So he's going to open with 9 reps.
Yeah, so we're going back up through the ladder of reps. So 9, 15, 21 now, front squats, chest to bar pull-ups, and he's just smooth and rhythmic here. So it's not like sprinting. I guess this is probably a faster cadence than just like, general people squatting, but he's not at like a sprint speed where he's max effort bouncing out through it. Transitions are kind of, like that was probably 3 to 5 seconds right there. So he's obviously not in like rush mode, which is going to be like, obviously that means that people could probably beat this score, but you'd have to be pretty fit. I feel like during his rest time, he looked like he was almost fully recovered in a minute. So it means like that first workout's not super stressful, but how many people got capped on site?
Almost everybody. There
Really?
were very few people who finished. But if you're not able to go through the handstand push-ups, at least almost unbroken, you don't have enough time
the
at
time
the
just
end.
beats it up.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
No. Well, please qualifiers.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me.
One of the things that I like for him though is he knows that the reps are now going up. So the 15s and the 21s are going to be a little bit more challenging, especially on the chest to bars. I'm sure that, trying to do an unbroken set on the 21 is going to be tough. So he's taking his breaks now to kind of build in some time or some recovery for these bigger sets that he's about to do.
Yeah, the break, I feel if you're going to break, you almost have to be doing unbroken movements if you want a good score.
Yeah.
The problem is, and Lucas
If you're
does
going
run
to break, you have to be doing
if you're going to, if you're going to take long
Longer rest
transitions,
times.
not break. If you're going to take longer transitions, you have to be doing bigger unbroken
for sure.
sets.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, thank you. But that's where, Luke gets into trouble. He's, generally likes, these bigger sets with breaks in between them. And then he did, like, as an example, 20.3 with the deadlift and handstand walks. He redid that workout with smaller sets and set the third best time in the world. So, like, figuring out a way to keep, like, these breaks right here where he, he's resting. If that could have been just drop the bar, take a breath, pick it back up, he probably could have broken it up into 3 sets and maybe finished that work set in a faster period of time. I mean, that's kind of what we're learning in the sport, that a lot of it's dictated by your rest breaks more than it is how big your sets are when you're doing them.
I mean, there's 1,000 ways to skin the cat, right, on how we pace, but it really does come down to 2 things: movement speed and then the total rest time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he broke this into 3. We're in the 21s now, so he's coming to the finish.
But his squat cadence didn't slow down too much, so that's definitely somewhere you can lose a lot of time trying to go too big of sets where you just get way too slow.
Yeah, I feel like the squat speed slows because people hold the front rack and just hang out there and they're breathing there. That's really where people get, or at least that's like the most common that I see. It's not like they're squatting up and down slowly. They're just holding onto the bar for long periods of time.
So this is where he wins the workout, because there were people on site who got there faster than him, but I didn't see anybody hold on to this last set.
This
like
was
he
the
did.
example of Allie where she had to break up the 21s a ton because her grip blew up.
All right, so that's it. Lucas, thanks for the demo. Let's go look at some scores and movement standards. So you just watched Lucas's demo. He won, he had the best score, but he didn't do it with our on-site group. He did it ahead of time. Mike was our best scorer on site at 10:37. You'll see here that he's also a nerd, and he probably would have finished last place if our whole group was here. Other scores for the females: Allie at 9:59, Kylie at 10:46, Deb at 11:46, rounding out the podium on site.
All right, we're gonna start with movement standards. This is the 2020 Open Handstand Push-Up Standard. So again, you're gonna be back against the wall, feet are underneath your hips, and then we're gonna measure from the top of her head. She'll step away, then we will measure from elbow to knuckle. We'll take half of that, and then from wherever that measurement was from the back of her head, we'll measure up, and this is her line. Same exact thing that we did in the open. A couple other things: when you kick up, you gotta make sure that your feet start above the line. So Mia will kick up, her feet are starting above the line, and then she can go down. And then when she comes back up, her butt or hips cannot rest against the wall. You have to be fully extended at the top and make sure your feet are over the line. That will be 1 rep. For the power clean, it's a standard power clean, so bar starts on the floor, she'll come up, elbows have to pass the barbell, and you have to come to full extension. We'll go right into the front squat after she does another rep. Hip crease below the knee, standard front squat, but you can do this in any position that you'd like. So it can be a normal front rack, you can cross over, you can do a zombie squat, as long as the barbell stays in the front rack position. And then finally, we won't go over there, but for the chest to bar, standard chest to bar, full extension at the bottom, and then the chest below the collarbone has to touch the bar at the top. All right, so we wanted to show you guys a couple different variations because we know that the handstand push-up standard is tough for most people and the heels are barely getting over the line. So I'm gonna have Mia, demo her first kick up if she's doing a normal handstand push-up with no standard. You can see her heels are still over the line, but they're pretty tight. So go ahead and kick back down. One of the things that we're gonna say is try to move your hands in maybe 1 inch or 2 inches closer to the wall, and then 1 inch or 2 inches closer into your midline, and then watch the difference here. So she was about 2 inches over the line there. Now she's about 5 inches over the line. So this is a quick one. If you're really close, you can go ahead and kick down, Mia. If you're really close to this line and you want to be able to try to make sure that you are safe on every single rep, start practicing a kipping handstand push-up with where your hands are closer and a little bit closer together to your center of mass or your midline. That's going to help you out a ton. All right, so for the power clean, obviously this is a relatively light load for most people, so there's a couple different variations. Typically, if we're setting up for something heavy, we would do a normal Olympic lifting power clean where she'd brush the hip, dip underneath it, stand back up.
Each rep, though, is relatively slow. So one of the ways that you can speed this up is doing a no-brush power clean, similar to what we showed you with the power snatch a couple weeks ago, where her butt's a little bit higher when she comes down. She's not brushing on the way down or the way up. And as she's pulling, she's doing basically an early rebend to get underneath the barbell quickly. And then as soon as the bar's on your shoulders, you're standing up quickly and then going right into your next rep. This is just gonna speed up each rep, probably half a second or even a second a rep, which obviously over 45 reps could be a lot of time.
Let's break
This.
sucker down.
So first part of the workout, we have handstand push-ups, power cleans.
Yes, we do.
What do you think
Good
about that?
observation, Mia. So I think when you're doing that, first thing, good warm up that allows you to manipulate the standard to make sure you're getting all your reps, because you could waste a lot of time either getting no reps or manipulating your body trying to get your heels above the line on every rep, which not only takes time, but it also just blows you up.
Yeah, that standard is tough. We obviously saw it in the Open this year, and then 2 years ago. We'll probably see it again, so I think it's worth practicing both in training and then obviously making sure that you're holding yourself to the standard when you're doing something like this. So the first key, I think, is practicing that standard and having someone tell you exactly where your feet are, where your hands are, and then like we showed you in the movement demos, or the variations of the movements, how to move your hands and manipulate your kip to make sure your feet are getting over the line.
And remember, if you're close, be patient and wait for your judge to say good rep. Don't come down and waste that extension.
Yeah, with the caveat being don't hold up there for 5 or 6 seconds every
Right.
single rep, because obviously you're gonna blow up.
Yeah, and then from a strategy perspective, I think that, and I think you guys will agree, that the best thing to do is just be as aggressive as possible on this workout for the gymnastics movements. On the first portion, because you're going down in reps, so you can push the 21, push the 15. If you're starting to get close to failure, it's so few reps at the end of it, and you're gonna get a 3-minute rest. So the power output of the movements is kind of low. If you go out too aggressive on a breathy style workout, you blow up and you can't recover. But on something that's so muscular, I think you can take the risk. And then on the way back up, because the time cap is so aggressive, if you're trying to break up the 9s and 15s on chest to bars, then you might not even get to the 21s.
Yeah, you gotta think there's a 3-minute rest built in there, and that's part of your overall time. And again, with a 12-minute time cap, that means you have to finish the first one pretty quickly to be able to have time for the chest bars and the front squats after that. So with the chest bars and the front squats, is there any advantage to breaking either of those up?
What do you think?
I'd say if your front squat speed is slowing down a lot, then it's best to just drop it for a couple seconds and pick it right back up. I think on chest to bars, you just need to go out aggressive. Like you said, if you break too early, you might not even see the set of 21.
Yeah. The barbells at both of those movements, I feel like for a power clean, even easier. So if you're taking a break, the time to start back up is pretty quick. Whereas a handstand push-up, if you're coming down off the wall, even like 1 or 2 shakeouts and 1 breath, you're still talking about like 6 to 8 seconds probably. Whereas a power clean, you're already dropping it down to the floor, so you're not losing any time by letting it go. You could literally drop it, shake your hands out and pick it back up and only be like 2 or 3 seconds out there. Whereas front squat may be a little bit different, but if you're squat cleaning the rep, you're not gonna lose that much time. So I'd say movement speed is more important for the barbell. And if you're going to have some like more conservative strategy style stuff, I'd say the barbell's the place to do it in this workout.
Yeah, and then what about the chest bars? We know that they go up, so it's 9 maybe easy for most people, but then the 15s get a little bit harder. The 21s, I saw some of my on-site athletes fall apart on those. So how do we strategize for that to make sure that you can get through the 21s at the end?
I think even if you're gonna fall apart, you need to just get there and deal with it when you get there. I had some athletes that I told to go unbroken on 9 and 15 knowing it was gonna blow them up, but I still think it gave them a better score even though they were doing 2s and 3s on the 21.
Basically, they're banking some time so that
Right.
they had enough time to get under the time cap with a 21.
Yeah,
Right.
and then I think the variation of the front rack position. So generally in CrossFit, they'll make you hold on into the front rack, at least like 2 fingers or something in the front rack. But if you zombie squat or cross in front of you, you might save your grip and your pulling muscles a little bit to give you a little bit of extra aggression or bigger sets in the set of 21 and the 15 by just manipulating your front squat standard a tiny bit.
Yeah, and then one thing I would say is obviously work on your front rack position if your grip's blown up, because that means you're not able to get your elbows probably in a better position to where your wrists aren't like really deep extended.
Yeah, in end range.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, what we do here, coaching. We got the design blog. I'm screwing all of this up because it's usually your job. So all I'm gonna say is go to trainingthinktank.com, check it out, and Project Pat, take us away.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pat in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Let it be known, what it be known, what it be known. You know what I'm saying? Pata.